last video, I showed you guys how to get the center, the white center for the 4x4 cube. I don't have any other centers yet, just my white centers. I recommend working on my yellow side next, which is always going to be opposite of the white side. So I know down here is going to be yellow. I have one here. Sometimes I might have diagonals or two or maybe none. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try on my other sides to pair two yellows together, and then I'm later going to bring them down to the middle, okay? So if I look here, I have these two diagonals, and I really want them to be right next to each other, either this way or this way. So I want them to be adjacent or right next to each other. But what I can do is I can look at some of my other pieces. So I see this yellow one down here. Notice that this is in the top layer, and this is also in the top layer. So really I want it to be in the bottom layer, so I could bring it, like if I was trying to move this red over, I could pull it, this piece here, okay? But because it's in this second layer here, if I move this down, now it's in the bottom layer that I could then bring it over. So again, here's my yellow one, okay? And I'm gonna bring this over. Okay, now what I did was actually made it diagonal. So I'm gonna move that back one more, and notice I'm gonna move this cube. I want this yellow to be here in this spot. So if I just turn this face, okay, now I'm going to move this yellow, and now they're lined up. Notice I have not messed up my white piece, and this is where it gets a little tricky on the 4x4. I'm only moving things down here, okay? I'm not making moves up here yet because I don't want to break apart my white pieces at all. So I'm only making moves down here with what I have. I have these two yellow, and I do want them on the bottom eventually, but for right now, they could be okay there. Let me see where my other yellow, okay, here's my other yellow, and my other one is on the bottom. If it's on the bottom, that means I'm gonna have to move something on my white side up here in order to get this yellow one on one of my sides. So I will go ahead and show you now, and this is actually a good placement where I can bring my yellow one up. So notice if I bring that yellow one up and line it up here, I have messed up my whites. So I always have to bring something back, okay, to get these back together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to move this yellow where it lines up with this yellow. Now let's say that this yellow is here, and if you moved it up, it was going to be diagonal. Okay, I'm gonna move that back, and you can move this yellow piece where you need it to be. I need it to be on this bottom left corner because I also want this yellow down here to line up with that yellow corner. So this is great, we got them together, but look, we messed up our white. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of put it back for a second and show you again. Here's my white, it's all correct. Here's my yellow. I want to line it up with this yellow. I'm going to move it up. Now they're lined up. I'm going to move this because I need to pull this white side back down. Okay. So I turned this entire, so even though I got them together here, okay. Oh, sorry. It was like this. I pulled it up. I lined them up, and then I'm going to send this away so that I can bring that white side back down. So now I still have my white center intact. I have two yellows here. Again, I want them at the bottom, but for right now, it's okay if they're on a side. Oh, and I have my other two from before. So there's a couple ways that I'm gonna show you how to get these two down to the bottom. First of all, I like them like this. If they are, this can be a little tough sometimes. There we go. Never push your Rubik's Cube too much. Like if it feels like it's getting a little stuck, just try to straighten it out as much as you can and then move it again. Don't force it or it will break. I have broken quite a few of these over the years. Or at least my students have. So I don't want them like this. I want to be able to move two at a time. That's kind of my goal here. At least that's the way I like to do it. I want to move two at a time. Let me set this out of the way. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Okay. I am trying to get these two yellow to the bottom, and I'm going to try to get these two yellow to the bottom. Okay. Here's my white side. Here's the yellow. I'm going to flip this over. Let me see if I can. Okay. I'm actually going to do this one first. I have my two yellow. I want them to be on the bottom, which would be in here. Okay, still have my white here. I'm going to take these two yellow, I'm going to move them up. It's the same move. After I move them up, I'm going to kind of send them away back to the other side so that now I can realign my white side. So I brought that back down, and now I have two yellow at the bottom. Got my four on top, two yellow on the bottom. Okay, so I need these other two to be yellow, and then I'm done with my yellow face. All right. Notice here, it would be so lovely and nice if I could just move my 2 yellow up here and be all done, but that would mess up my white. Okay, so I'm gonna put my white back. The trick here is actually going to be to line up your yellow on the same side. It wouldn't seem like you would. You just want to pull them up and that would be great, but it's not that easy. So I'm going to move these, 2 times to the right so that I have my 2 yellow here on the right and I have my 2 yellow here on the right. And I'm going to show you why that's going to work here in just a second. Again, white face is on the bottom. I have my 2 yellow on the right and 2 yellow on the right here. So watch what I'm gonna do. When I move up these 2, it's actually gonna send these 2 yellow away. I apologize for the lighting. I'm in some natural light and there's not much I can do about it. So I have the 2 yellow here and here, okay? I'm gonna pull these yellow up, even though I lost those and sent them up here, okay? But I'm gonna pull those yellow up. I see my 2 white down here, okay? And then I'm gonna turn this 2 times to the left, and now I'm gonna pull that side back. And now I have my yellow and I still have my white. So then I know that's a little bit tricky, but maybe I can show you that again. I'm gonna move it back. Again, I lined them both up on my right side. If they are like this, okay, you just move them back over. Getting stuck again. Move it back over like that. If they are like all the way over, you want the 2 to be lined up with 2 here. So I'm gonna put them back, line them up. Okay, move my yellow up, send those 2 away that I just put over there, and then I'm gonna bring back those 2 yellow. So now I have my yellow center and I still have my white center. So the next video will be showing you how to get the other 4 centers.